But Hoboken in general was maybe there were 50,000 people. Town was a square mile of 5 Catholic churches. And when we were growing up, initially in the early 50s, it was mostly Irish and Italian, maybe some German. And as my brother indicated, as the decade ended and the 60s came, there were a lot of Latinos who were coming in.
Yeah, Hoboken, in many ways, there's a renaissance for many years in Hoboken. Hoboken now is often referred to as the Gold Coast because it's directly across the river from Manhattan, and the skyline, of course, is such a beautiful view. But Hoboken itself is a very beautiful community, and over the years they went through a major gentrification, and so the old housing stock, brownstone and large brick housing, became very valuable. And the joke was in those days that you never thought you'd own $1 million home, but now you own $1 million home, except you're paying taxes on $1 million home. So many people were getting priced out on the property values going higher. And there's even a dark side to that renaissance of Hoboken, where there was a period of time in the 70s where there were a massive number of fires in many houses, often of suspicious origin, so property values can be emptied and redeveloped. Right? So Hoboken had that Dark Ages as well as the Renaissance, and it's known as the Gold Coast. And so when Gabe and I grew up, there was a saying that passed on that said, "I knew Hoboken when Hoboken was Hoboken." And so we knew Hoboken when Hoboken was Hoboken in the days where Tootsie Roll Factory was there. Mighty Fine Pudding was at one end. Right, the South End, Standard Brands, Maxwell House, Wonder Bread, Hostess Cupcakes. Right, I mean, all of these manufacturers were in Hoboken, and by the way, Maxwell House, to this day, their old property is known as the Maxwell, which is a high-end condo unit. So we grew up at a time where the industry in Hoboken was fairly active. And you know, the nice thing about having, there was Mighty Fine and there was Vandermeer Chocolates, which was in Lower Jersey City, but we lived in Lower Hoboken. So on rainy days, you can smell the chocolate from Vandermeer Chocolates, and on Uptown, you'd smell the coffee from Maxwell House Coffee. So Hoboken had all these great aromas growing up. But those are my memories then. And again, as Gabe said, the migration from Cuba and Puerto Rico in the late 50s really began to add new populations to our community. And I remember that vividly, where we lived in 1959, where our house, the Christmas tree, went on fire and burned our apartment.